This episode being positioned where it is in the season is so interesting for Dean because it's this episode and the next episode, which we'll cover after our discussion episode next week, is Folsom Prison Blues, where Dean integrates really well into prison life. And it's like, Dean, like, you can do well pretty much anywhere. Like, Dean can thrive in any situation, really. And, like, it's just kind of sad that he's hunting.
Which is what he is all the time. Oh, God.
Like, he could be doing literally anything else and he would be fine. My highlight... No, I'm going to do my low light first. My low light is Elise and her backstory. So we know there's 2 suicides. We don't find out what the other suicide is. We don't get a story. We don't get a name.
Mm-hmm.
But Elise's backstory is that she's an actress who had an affair with a studio executive. It went wrong and she was left with nothing. Like, her career and everything was ruined. And I'm like, can we just not? Why is, like, this one female character, like, why is that her story? And then this other death by suicide is, like, anonymous. We don't know what the cause is. We don't know what the circumstances were. Like, I don't know. Elise just, it just felt very stereotypical, and I don't think we needed it.
Yeah, stuff like that, like, did and does still happen. So it is, like, an accurate thing to, you have a point that it didn't need to be included.
I can't remember who said it, KJ, you might have, but just the fact that she disrobes too, she's in, like, this very, like, sexually suggestive thing.
Yeah, they really sexualize her.
Their entire history, you're like, hold on, wait a second.
Yeah, and we see that before we find out her backstory too. Like, we see this whole disrobing thing, and then we find out that she died by suicide after, like, having an affair with a studio executive, and then she murdered the studio executive by, like, enticing him upstairs. And my highlight, I didn't write one down, but this episode was overall better than I thought, and I think my highlight is going to be maybe also the Gilmore Girls joke. It's just very good. I think Jared played it really well. I don't know if that was, like, something that was directed or if that was, like, a Jared acting choice, but either way, it was good. I mean, I would trust Phil Segresha to make that suggestion. Either way, it was great. Call CPS. I think we're good. I don't think we need to call CPS on anybody this week, just mostly because there weren't any children around.
Wahoo!
Mental health check. I'm not a psychologist. This segment is based purely on my own opinions, and a weekly reminder, if you're struggling with anything at all, please reach out for help. This week, I mean, Sam was throwing himself into the job to forget about killing his not girlfriend last week, but honestly, I think the boys were doing really well, both of them, all things considered.
Yeah, Dean was doing amazing, and we've already said that.
Yeah, he really thrived with his, like, somewhat normal person job and, like, a productive member of society, and, like, they were just doing well for once. And even Sam, I mean, he could have been doing a lot worse. He did worse after Ava went missing than he's doing now currently after killing someone he cared about.
True.
Yeah, and I just it's kind of funny and sad when Dean just loves doing, like, normal person things.
I know. It is really, really nice, honestly. And they just were doing pretty well, and I'm glad. Soul transactions, technically there were none, but just like a reminder, the ghosts don't like to be used as murder puppets.
Yeah.
Nice to dead people.
Sam's traumatic brain injury. Sam didn't even come close to a head injury this week. There was, like, some bad head injuries in this episode, but none of them were Sam.
Not even close to a head injury.
We're on a nice little, like, 4-week streak of Sam staying conscious for entire episodes. I'm really happy for him.
He's doing great.
This episode would have been a great opportunity to give him a head injury, but
and they didn't do it. Good job, Sammy.
Also, you forgot to do the mythology section.
Oh, sorry. I totally did. I just assumed that you didn't have anything. So,
well, I usually try to have something.
I know, it's just we've done ghosts so many times, but if you had something, feel free.
Just something short. I just have something short this week, because, like, it's just ghosts, but, like, it's Hollywood ghosts. They're special.
Yeah, okay, fun.
Upon the recap, I realized maybe I should have researched Poltergeist, but instead I researched Phantom of the Opera in 1925. There is an urban legend that the soundstage it was filmed on, Soundstage 28, is haunted by the ghost of Lon Chaney, who starred in the movie and died in 1930, 5 years after the movie came out. So there were reports and rumors of lights turning on and off, doors opening and closing, and a caped figure sighted on the catwalks, which is remarkably close to the plot of the movie because it's Phantom of the Opera. The soundstage was sadly demolished in 2014 despite its historical and cultural significance, and I guess the whatever they built over it isn't haunted because I haven't heard anything.
That's interesting.
That's very cool.
That Lon Chaney is just waiting.
Lying in wait in the basement somewhere.
in a lair waiting to kidnap a soprano.
And then to finish off this week's episode, we have Line of the Week. Jen, how about you?
You know, I knew I forgot something. I need a minute.
Okay, Meredith, do you have a Line of the Week ready?
I do. Dean asking what a PA is and Sam saying it's some sort of slave.
Okay, you know what? There were probably a lot of lines in here that I really liked, but this one's like stupid. It really only makes me laugh, but there's this bit at the beginning where Dean's like, is that Matt Damon? And it's like, it's not, it's a janitor. And that's because every time I see Matt Damon in a movie, I'm like, wow, this is an amazing actor. As soon as that movie ends, forget everything about Matt Damon. I've seen Matt Damon in like 20 movies. I can't.
He is a really good actor, but
yeah,
he's kind of forgettable.
I don't know why. It's like so bad. I'll look at any random like white man actor and I'll be like, is that Matt Damon? It's not, Jen. It's not. So I don't know. Just being able to not spot him. It's like
Matt Damon also looks a little bit like Alexander Calvert. I guess Alexander Calvert looks a little bit like Matt Damon. I guess.
Yeah, there's a bit of a resemblance there.
Yeah, it's not like they're not like identical, but yeah, like Matt Damon's done some like pretty intense movies and stuff. Like
Ripley was amazing, like The Martian.
I was gonna say The Martian.
Club. And every time I'm like, wow, no one else has heard of this actor. Jen, people have heard of this actor. You can't remember his.
My line of the week is from the Hellhaisers 2 The Reckoning trailer. They never forgive and they never forget, and this summer they're coming back again to settle the score again.
How many Hellblazers? It was 2?
There's 3. In season 14 we find out that there's a third one. It's called Hellhaisers It Lives Again. There's at least 3 of them.
It's such an obvious parody, but it's one I welcome.
Me too. I love it. I love all the little franchises that exist in Supernatural.
Yeah.
There's some really great ones in that. There's a season 14 episode all about like these kind of B horror movies again. Dean's really into them. It's like it takes place over Halloween, so like there are like marathons. So every time they walk by a TV, there's like a different horror movie coming up next.
That's great.
But I like that they remember to include Hellhaisers in that, and they invented Hellhaisers 3.
I just appreciate franchises that like use the same villain over and over again, and they keep having to like contrive excuses for the villain to actually have a reason and a way to come back.
Well, I mean, Halloween horror movies really do have the corner on that market.
They really do.
But yeah, that was my line of the week, and that's it for this week. Meredith, where can people find you?
You can find me on Tumblr, Instagram, and sometimes TikTok at Shades of Deianira. And if you go there, you'll see lots of really cool drawings for the fantasy series I'm writing.
And Moira, where can people find you?
You can find Moira at Moira_Frisk on all the things.
And Jen, how about you?
You can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, TikTok, and AO3, all the same username now. It's rupertgayes.
Yay! I went through like a 4-week period where at least every episode, like at least if not multiple guests had changed their username since we recorded, just because we're so far ahead on recording, and it was very busy for me. Next week we are discussing Sam's freaky childhood, so that will be fun.
Next week when we go, next week we'll be back week after that for discussion 10. I'm just leaving, and that takes a lot of time. Additionally, I am teaming up with Abigail and Elena from Saving People Cravings and Beth from Kevin Fix the Podcast for a brand new podcast about the supernatural people, the Winchesters. So you can find us on all of our social media at Boomer Parents for updates on when that is coming out. We will have trailers, we'll have a few bonus episodes, and we will be releasing weekly episodes as soon as that starts airing. So stay on the lookout for that.
I've been KJ, and this has been Supernatural Opinions. If you enjoyed our show, the best thing you can do is subscribe on your podcast app of choice and tell a friend. Check out our link tree in the episode description for all of our social media and any other Supernatural-related projects we might be working on. Send us an email. Our address is supernaturalopinionspodcast@gmail.com, or reach out directly at KJ, at Ed and KJ on all platforms. Thank you to Joe Veretta for our theme song, and our logo was created by Faith Ebert of faithanddesigns.ca. The episode was recorded, edited, and produced by me, Ed and KJ. If you want to hear more from me, you can check out my other podcast, Series of Opinions. And last but not least, a huge thank you to all of our guests.
Don't think in this world I'm supernatural. What we need is a savior.